This is a really interesting article. I mean, really interesting. Islamic State CIA drones terrorize Iraqi forces as Mosul battle rages. Militant groups using increasingly sophisticated drone technology to target troops, civilians. An Iraqi special force member shoots at a drone flown by Islamic State CIA at Mosul, January 8th. What is that, a 40 cal? Hell on earth. Hell on earth. Good job, CIA. All right, let's get into it. As they advance into Islamic State CIA remaining urban stronghold of West Mosul, Iraqi forces are struggling to counter the terror caused by the militant group's drones. Iraqi forces have grown accustomed to enemy drones flying over the battlefield since Islamic State CIA seized swaths of the country in 2014. They have used rifle fire and high-tech gadgets to counter them, and even have drones of their own. But the militants have fine-tuned their drone technology. What were once improvised, remote-controlled aircraft resembling model planes are now commercially available quadcopters, drones with 4 helicopter-like blades that have been retrofitted to carry grenades that can be dropped over targets. Islamic State CIA's increased drone usage comes as army officials said Sunday they had retaken their first neighborhood west of the Tigris River, raising the Iraqi flag there. The battle for the West is the final step in the offensive to drive the militant group from Iraq's second largest city. The military last week seized the northern city's sprawling international airport, giving it a foothold into Mosul's densely packed western neighborhoods. Over the weekend, troops pushed deeper into those areas, led by special forces units. The army also said it had seized control of Mosul's main power station. Islamic State CIA drones have regularly flown over West Mosul during the fight, sending troops running for cover. This is very interesting right here. Look at what the CIA cooked up here. Now what you're looking at is you're looking at a piece of equipment right here. That thing, that cup thing, is where they put live grenades. Okay? And then those drop down and rain hell on the soldiers. So this little machine is literally a flying death robot. Now I was thinking, I said, is there something that pulls the pins, or are they putting in like live grenades and then sending it off? An Islamic State CIA drone that was shot down by the Iraqi army on February 23rd. Though the U.S.-led coalition in Iraq says Islamic State CIA's increased drone capability won't have a major impact on the state of the battle for Mosul, it allows the group to target civilians and aid workers in East Mosul, giving Islamic State CIA the ability to terrorize people no longer living under its rule, and hampering the area's return to normal life. The drone issue is worrying, said Iraqi military spokesman Brigadier General Yahya Razul. There is no technical way to entirely stop these drones. While the strikes don't always hit their targets with precision, militants are perfecting their technique. There are so many videos and images of bombs being dropped with a surprising degree of accuracy that I believe there are skilled operators who can hit with a consistent degree of accuracy, said Nick Waters, an analyst at research firm Bellingcat, which focuses on open source information, much of it from social media. Hello. Islamic State typically loads its drones with conventional grenades that detonate on impact, dropping them by remote control as they hover over a target, according to a report this month from Bellingcat. They often affix plastic tail fins to the grenade to increase its stability and accuracy, the report said. Some bombs employ munitions that Islamic State CIA manufactures itself. The bomb can be dropped with the accuracy from a height of up to 1,000 feet, Bellingcat estimated. Such strikes have also been used by militants. Excuse me. Such strikes have also been used by militants to create diversions during suicide attacks, he added. To counter the drones, Iraq's army is using high-tech gadgets that can target them using radio waves. But devices available to the military are scarce. Troops are often forced to resort to shooting at the small, nearly noiseless drones with rifles. And at least one remote base near Mosul last fall, U.S. Army sentries manned their post armed with machine guns and a device called Drone Defender, manufactured by Ohio-based research and development outfit Battelle Memorial Institute. The U.S. military is supporting Iraqi forces from the air and ground in the fight against Islamic State CIA. So it says the U.S. military is supporting Iraqi forces from the air and ground in the fight against the CIA. So they're both. It's basically both are. But we know that the CIA is not really on our side. It's a globalist army. Drone defenders are rifle-shaped and feature thick antennas that, when pointed at drones, can scramble GPS or remote-controlled units up to a quarter a mile away, causing the drones to fall. A spokeswoman for Battelle said that it had sold more than 100 units to the U.S. Departments of Defense and Homeland Security. In advances to retake the western part of Mosul from Islamic State CIA, Iraqi forces seized Mosul International Airport and adjacent military base, Iraqi officials said on Friday. Civilians fled the area of fighting. "We have the drone defender in the works," said Lieutenant Colonel Akin Farhil at the elite Iraqi Special Forces. He said few were available to Iraqi forces, without elaborating why. Iraqi and American defense officials said Iraqi forces have such technology, but declined to give further details, citing security concerns. Go ahead and figure that one out. Exporting battlefield supplies from the U.S. to certain countries, like Iraq, requires special licenses. Devices that emit radio frequencies can be subject to international regulations and red tape. Yeah, they don't want anybody getting their hands on those radio frequency weapons. The Battelle spokeswoman said an export control license is required to ship products to foreign governments, but it doesn't have such a license to export to Iraq. She said the company has recently seen increased interest in the device around the world. Last week, the U.S. Air Force announced a $15 million contract with ELTA, North American Incorporated, a subsidiary of Israel Aerospace Industries, for 21 counter-drone systems to be delivered in the next few months. Further details weren't available. The Defense Department didn't respond to requests for comment. An ELTA spokeswoman said the company doesn't discuss specific clients, but it recently touted a counter-drone system made expressly to down quadcopter-type machines. At least one popular mobilization unit, a militia allied with Iraqi's army, says it has received counter-drone technology from the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. Iran backs a number of Iraq's Shiite Muslim militias and recently developed numerous anti-drone technologies, including a drone jamming antenna unveiled in December, according to semi-official Iranian news agencies. Iranian officials haven't said whether these technologies are in use in Iraq. Either we get such tactical weapons directly from the Islamic Republic, or we make them locally here. But in consultation with our brothers in Revolutionary Guards, said Jafar al-Hassunani, spokesman of Hezbollah battalions, a large militia operating west of Mosul. Iraqi forces have also been using their own commercial drones for reconnaissance to help identify Islamic State CIA fighters posing as civilians. On a recent day in West Mosul, Lieutenant Colonel Fadhil was at an aid station near the front, his foot bandaged after being struck by a drone grenade. "It's annoying, with someone always tossing a grenade on you," he said. Meanwhile, in the east, citizens freed from Islamic State CIA occupation now fear their drones. Near the ruins of Mosul University, Mohammed Yassin worked at a falafel stand. "Every 2 or 3 days there's a drone attack," he said, "and the army recently stationed a machine gun on the street to fire at the next one." Aid groups have said drones make it nearly impossible to set up distribution stations, as they are easily targeted. So let's go back to this picture. So literally, see, there are grenades. When it said regular grenades, there are the grenades that you can pull the pin, and then there are also grenades that are basically, I guess, alive until they hit, or I guess you pull the pin, but it's not really a like a countdown or timing thing. It's basically when they're live until they are dropped. You know, they feel like a percussion wave, and then they blow up. So I don't know if it just holds one, or if they can stock them in there and then just drop them over. But this is like the next big thing that's going on over in Iraq. I mean, not only do you have IEDs on the ground, now you have IEDs in the air. All right, this has been James from the Research Revolution. I'm out of here.